This is going to be kind of a random video. I just wanted to wrap up my 2023 year before getting into the 2024 videos. So of course, what better way to wrap up the year than with Christmas footage. I absolutely love December, the month of December leading up to Christmas. I love like Christmas spirit, everything. I love going Christmas shopping. I love going to Christmas markets and getting like food at the little wooden stalls and just being in that Christmas spirit. So I did that in Paris a lot, and then I went to the south of France where my family, like most of my family, my grandparents live, and we had Christmas as a family there, and that was a wonderful time as well.
It's the end of the year. Everywhere on TV, couples and Christmas trees.
So here are some of the meals that we had before Christmas. We always eat very well in the south of France. Always a bunch of dessert options, of course. And it's time for our apéro, where we had homemade verrine and homemade gougère. And then usually for the meal, there is seafood and there is foie gras, always cheese, and we had vegetarian options. We had like vegan foie gras, and we had our own like vegetarian things to eat, and there were some sides. We then opened the Christmas presents as a break before dessert, and then we had dessert. And this is an example of a meal we would have the following day with a bunch of like lighter, fresh foods. Also, for the end of the year, I want to share some of my favorite recipes for the year. I have been eating these like on repeat for the whole year, so I don't know if this will change in 2024. Sometimes I get sick of foods I like keep on eating. And if you've been following me this year on YouTube or Instagram, you've probably like seen these meals a ton. But my favorite recipes of the year were, first of all, lasagna, like this vegetarian lasagna. And I have a whole like cook with me video where I show you how to make that, like the ingredients and everything that you can watch here. If you're interested, I literally had this like every other week. So in this lasagna, I put lentils to replace the meat, and then I also put zucchini. Sometimes I put spinach in there as well, and then tomatoes. And then like all the like toppings and everything. You can get like the full detail in that video. I'm gonna link it in the description. And then another one of my favorites was a baked sweet potato that I would spread like skyr yogurt on, and then I would put some chickpeas and some avocado. And I like, this used to be my favorite like a couple years ago, then I got a little bit sick of it, and this year it has returned. I love it again so much. And you can see this recipe in my What I Eat in a Day Instagram reel. I'll link to that in the description as well. Another one of my favorites, again, I have this all the time, is a red lentil dahl that I make with curry and coconut milk, and then I make that with rice and then an avocado. Usually that's the way I eat that. And I've had that for like multiple of my What I Eat in a Days, but I'm also going to share like the main points of the recipe in the description if you're interested. Another one of my favorites that I had every single week, like I'm not kidding, multiple times a week even, because I would like make it for multiple days, was the whole wheat pasta with Beyond Meat and with zucchini and carrots, and that was just absolutely delicious. I would put like grated cheese on top. Again, I eat this in one of my What I Eat in a Day video in the same reel, I believe. So again, make sure that you check that out. The link will be in the description. So yeah, these were some of my favorite recipes that I had on repeat. Hopefully I find some new ones this year. And also I've been getting requests to make a recipe book. I don't know if that's something that would interest you. Let me know if that is. The only thing, like the reason why I'm kind of like on the fence about it is because I don't follow recipes that much. Like usually I get inspired from a recipe and then I switch it up like every time. So I feel like it would be like a bit hypocritical of me to make a recipe book of recipes I make, but that I don't really make them like that, because again, I just like kind of adapt it all the time. So I don't know, would you be interested in like a general kind of recipe book where I kind of like give you the base recipe, then you can switch it up the way you want? I don't know. I have that idea. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where what I do with it. Okay, and this is a little random, but I'm a huge book fan, and from some of my previous videos where I briefly mentioned books, some of you like were interested in that too. So I thought I would also recap my favorite books of the year. Well, some of the books that I really liked from 2023. I do most of my reading on my Kindle, so I don't have physical copies. I have like a few physical copies, but most of these I read on my Kindle, and these are going to be by order of dates I read them. So definitely my favorite nonfiction I read this year was What Happened to You? Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. This is a book you really need to read if you want to understand like deep-rooted trauma. It doesn't have to be your own. It can be for understanding others, and it really helps you shift the way that you think. Instead of being like, what's wrong for you, for somebody else, you can be like, okay, what happened to you for you to get to that place? There was like a perfect mix between scientific like explanation and also real life examples. It was really, really engaging, and it taught me a lot. And then a fiction book that I absolutely loved this year was This Is How It Always Is by Lori Frankel. And the story is about a family who has one of their children who is kind of like questioning their gender, who likes things that are for like the opposite gender, and kind of like their journey around that, and keeping like a secret, and how that kind of happens. And there's just like so many topics that are explored in terms of like gender identity, but also in terms of like family dynamics and relationships. And it's just a beautifully written book, beautiful lyrical prose, and like endearing characters. Now, my ultimate favorite of the year was Hamnet. This one, I read the physical copy, but I don't have it because it was my mom's. And this is kind of the story behind Shakespeare's play Hamlet, which was inspired by his son who died when he was like very young. And this book kind of tells that story. It's not historically accurate. It doesn't like say that it's supposed to be a historically accurate retelling of events, but I still thought it was illuminating, extremely interesting, extremely well written. Like if you told me, who do you want to write like your dream goal, like your writing goals, it would be Maggie O'Farrell. Like this book was absolutely amazingly written, and this book also had an alternating timeline, which I really liked, and it was like really gripping and absolutely heartbreaking, but just incredibly beautiful. Another nonfiction I adored was Viola Davis's memoir, which was Finding Me. I mean, I always loved her as an actress, but the respect I have for her after reading this book, absolutely enormous. She had to go through so much. She fought so many battles to get to where she is now, and this book was very powerful and gripping, and I really recommend it. Another fiction I really enjoyed was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm kind of late to that. I think like in a couple years ago it was like really trending. People were saying like how good it was, and I bought it then. Again, I read the physical copy of that and I like forgot about it. And I read it. I really enjoyed it. It was very easy to read. And this book is about an extremely famous, iconic movie star who is aging and wants to tell her kind of like life story and reveal certain things that she had never spoken about. And she chooses to do that with a writer who is not known by any means. So it's like very surprising. And so you learn all about her story, all about her 7 husbands, and you also have like a present timeline, and you also understand why she chose the author that she chose to kind of like write her story. It's incredibly interesting, incredibly engaging. And what really struck me from this book was that the scenes were so vivid. Like, I feel like I watched a TV show when I read this book. It was just, everything was so well described, just flashed before my eyes, which was great. So I'm gonna stop there because I could just talk about these books for hours. There were more books that I really liked this year. These were all the books that I rated between like 4.5 and like 5 stars. But again, there are many more. I read like 56 books this year, I believe, so. Then I think it's always important to talk about things that you're grateful for, like every day, but at the end of the year as well, to kind of reflect. As usual, I'm so grateful for my family, my friends, all the moments that we can spend with each other. And especially like during the end of the year holidays, those are moments where we are just so happy to be in each other's company and to talk about everything and anything, to catch up on different things, and those moments are so precious to me. And I'm really thankful to be living in Paris. I love the city, I adore it. There are so many great things to do. I'm never bored here. And I'm also very, very thankful that I have this apartment because it was so hard to find. Like at the end of 2022, I thought I was not gonna find an apartment because finding a place to stay in Paris is literally hell. Like, I would go to apartment visits, there would be like 20 people waiting in line to tour the apartment at the same time as me, and then when you get out, there's like 20 more people. But that is over. I'm really thankful that I have this place because having a place of your own where you can just like rest, regenerate, do all your own things. And I've had a lot of wonderful moments this year, but my highlight was definitely going back to the US, specifically Chicago, where I used to live, and watching one of my best friends, my childhood friends, get married. That was absolutely amazing, and I definitely cherish those memories. So now that this year is over, it's time to focus on this new year, new opportunity for building healthy eating habits and for getting your relationship with food back on track to a healthier place and learning to listen to your body, all of that. I'm working on a healthy eating for 2024 video to help you with that. That should be out maybe next week. So I hope you all had a wonderful year and a wonderful end to this year with like the Christmas holidays, if you celebrate that. And I wish you all a wonderful 2024, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye!